it is clear to me that this needs to be explained. Bedwars is a minigame on the Hypixel Minecraft server. In it, there are multiple game modes. There's solo mode, where you play by yourself, doubles, where you play with one other teammate, 3v3v3v3, where you play with two other teammates, 4v4v4v4, where you guessed it, you play with three other teammates, and then these limited time games, and right now it's Rush, and that one is, I'm not gonna get into that. And Capture the Wool, yeah, we're not gonna get into that either. This is the waiting area. This is where you wait for your game to begin and for players to join when there are not enough players to play the game yet. And there are not enough players to play the game yet. Alright, this is where you spawn into the game. And spawning in is basically just appearing in the game with the basic items. So this is your base that we're at right now. That's an enemy base, that's an enemy base, and that's an enemy base. So at your base, the most important thing you have is your bed, your forge, and then two shops. The forge, inside the forge, there are materials, and these materials can be used to buy things in the item shop. I'm going to buy blocks and CNC. Blocks are used for building and getting to other bases, and mid, which is this huge area right here. Now, the most important part of your base is your bed. If your bed is broken and you die, then you're out of the game. The goal is to get other people out of the game and be the last person in the game. If you still have a bed when you die, then you stay in the game and you respawn at your base with basic items. You lose all the stuff that you had on you previously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, okay, I'm not going to go over there. Never mind. Over here, we have diamonds. Now, diamonds are things used to buy in the second shop in your island. So let's go over there. Here in the solo upgrades, there are also team upgrades when you're playing in doubles or triples or quadruples, or otherwise known as 3v3v3 or 4v4v4. In here, you can buy reinforced armor, which is better armor, maniac miner, which makes you mine things faster, and so mine blocks, and sharpness swords, which makes your sword do more damage. Now, I'm going to buy that and maniac miner, protection armor and maniac miner. Now, back in the forge, blocks are what you use to get from place to place. As you can see, I place blocks in order to get to the diamond island, which is a very important part of the game, so that you can get to the other players and try to kill them. Now I'm going to demonstrate trying to get another player out of the game. So I'm going to collect materials to get to the other person, then I'm going to blow their bed up with a piece of TNC. It won't actually blow their bed up, it will blow up whatever's protecting the bed, and then I will pop in and break the bed, and then I will be able to kill them and they'll be out of the game. So that's what I'm going to try to do now. And yeah. Right now I'm bridging over, and this is how you get to other bases, and mid, which is where emeralds are, and I'll show you that in a moment. Now, if we go over to blue, as you can see, they haven't really protected their bed at all, so I can just pop in without having to place the TNZ down, and then if I kill this guy, then he's out of the game. Blue team has been eliminated, and so I get his stuff, and then I can continue on in my game. Now let's talk about nicknames that have been given to a lot of the items. So in the solo upgrades, protection, which is reinforced armor, which upgrades your armor, as I told you before, is commonly referred to as prop, because it gives you protection 1 on all of your armor. And then sharpness swords, which is what makes your swords do more damage, is also commonly known as sharpness, or just called sharp. Can you get sharp for us, please? And then, what else? I'm gonna come in here, buy permanent iron armor, because I want better protection when I'm going to mid. And yeah. Now these are emeralds. Emeralds are very special items in Bedwars. They are materials that can be used to buy the best equipment. They can be used to buy diamond armor, which is the best armor. They can be used to buy a diamond sword, which is the best sword. And they can be used to buy the most powerful bow. Now, let's go over here. So if we come into here in the item shop, because I have 10 emeralds, I can buy permanent diamond armor and a diamond sword. So in here, there are tools. You can buy the tools, and if you die when you have, okay, you know what? Okay, well, he's gone. He accidentally dropped in the void. Oh, if you fall down here, you die. You're dead. Okay, so I have these tools. They're just wooden axe and wooden pickaxe. Now, the wooden pickaxe can be used to mine things like endstone and hardened clay faster, and obsidian, which is the hardest block and is commonly used to protect beds. Now, obsidian cannot be blown up, glass cannot be blown up, and yeah, so normally, if let's say I'm attacking my own base, which of course I'm not going to do, I would bridge up like this so that I'm out of reach from the other player. Of course, right now I am in reach from the other player. I would place a TNT down. It would break their bed defense, and then I would be able to pop in and break my bed, but my bed's already broken. So sometimes it's hard to do that because there are so many layers protecting the bed, and so that's what these pickaxes are for. So you can upgrade it. You can upgrade your wooden pickaxe and wooden axe with 10 iron, and then you can upgrade it again with 3 gold, and then you can upgrade it a final time with 6 gold. Now, I've upgraded both of my things twice. So if I die, it will go down to being upgraded only once. And then if I die again, it will go down to be the base level, basically. So when you die, you don't lose your tools, but they go down in quality. Shears are another tool that are used to mine wool fast. As you can see, I can mine it really fast, opposed to just hitting with my fist. It's much slower. So they are a tool that's used, and if you die when you have shears, then and you have a bed, then they will respawn with you. Now let's talk about special items. So TNT, as I showed you before, is basically just a block that when you place it, it has a timer, and then eventually it explodes. And when you place it, it also like falls down, unlike most Minecraft blocks. So if I place this here, it just stays up there. But if I place TNT, then it falls down. Now, TNT blows up, clearly. And the explosion of a TNT can be used to do a lot of things. First of all, it's mostly used for breaking blocks, but it can also be used to do something called TNT jumping. I'm just going to try and TNT jump from here to over there. So I'm going to place this down, and then it launches me forward. Now, I would not recommend doing this if you are a beginner, because it is a little bit hard to master, and I was terrified doing that. So that was one of the special items, TNT. Now, there's also something called a fireball. Now, a fireball is a projectile, which means it can be thrown. And as you can see over there, yellow base, yellow is dead, so it doesn't even matter. That bridge right there. So if I throw this, it goes over there fairly slowly, but it blows up the bridge. And it does a little bit of damage, not too much, but it does blow up like a large part of the bridge, which is very nice. Now, the problem with fireballs is, as you can see, it went pretty slowly. Now, fireballs can be deflected by the other player. If they hit the fireball that's coming at them, then it will actually go back to the person that threw it. So sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. If you catch someone off guard with one, then they're great. Now, let's talk about golden apples. Now, golden apples are items that heal health, basically. So let's say I just took a lot of damage. Let's just come up here a little bit. So falling down from a large height gives you a lot of damage. So there we go. I only have 1.5 hearts left. So if I eat a gapple, then it will give me an extra 2 hearts right there, which will go away if I'm hit. And it also gives me regeneration and helps me to heal my health. So they're very nice if you don't have a bed, especially, and you need to heal health. Now, there's also potions. Now, potions are bought with emeralds. There's a potion of invisibility, speed, and jump boost. So if I buy speed and jump boost right here, these are the special items that I talked about that can be bought with emeralds. A potion of speed makes you faster for 45 seconds, okay? And then a potion of jump boost gives you jump boost for 45 seconds. Now, this person over here has jump boost, and so I would rather not deal with him. Now, there's also a third potion, which costs 2 emeralds instead of the one that the other ones cost. And it can be used to buy a potion of invisibility. Now, invisibility makes it so that other players cannot see you, and it only lasts 30 seconds as opposed to the 45 seconds of the other 2 potions. And other players can't see you as long as you're not holding anything in your hand. If you're holding a sword in your hand, then they can see the sword. So normally, invisibility potions are used to sneak into people's bases and break their beds. Now, let's look in here. So there's also emeralds. I'm not ender pearls, which can be used to teleport from one location to another. They are thrown just similarly to how the fireball is thrown, and then wherever they land, the person teleports to. And they are expensive. They cost 4 emeralds. Let's look in the other utility. Now, there's also sponges, which soak up water, and water can be used to protect beds. If you place water over your base, then it makes mining the blocks slower. And sponges can be used to soak up that water. Now, magic milk is it's complicated. Here, we'll just skip that for now. There's also bed bugs, which like you just throw it and it spawns in a little like silverfish is what they're called, and it attacks the player. It doesn't do too much damage, but it's annoying and it causes problems. And then there's also a Dream Defender. Now it's an iron golem, so it spawns in a big guy and he attacks people for you. And he's pretty slow, but he's pretty good in game. If you're having like a 1v1 with a person and both of your beds are broken, then you can just place down 4 iron golems and it will help you to beat the other person. Now there's also TNT, as I showed you before, a water bucket, which is what I talked about in defending your bed. Now, in order to talk about the milk, we need to talk about some more solo upgrades. Now, as I showed you, there's upgrading your sword, upgrading your armor, upgrading how fast you mine things, and then there's also an iron forge, which you can pay in order to increase the rate at which your forge deposits items. Now, let's come back in here, and you can just upgrade that, and then you see plus 50% resources in order, and it just upgrades your forge. And then there's also something called a heal pool, which basically makes you regenerate health faster when you're at your base. And then there's a dragon buff, which is rarely used. I wouldn't even worry about it. And then traps. So traps are something that are normally used when you have a bed, and I don't have a bed, so I'm not going to buy a trap. And traps can be used to help defend your bed further. Now, at your base, if someone comes into your base, then the trap is activated. Now, there are multiple traps. So there's the minor fatigue trap, which is personally my favorite. It makes the person that comes to your base mine slower for 10 seconds. So it makes it harder for them to break your bed. And then there's also the alarm trap, which makes it so that if an invisible player comes to your base, then they are basically turned uninvisible so that you can see them, which is really nice, actually, in the end game. Counteroffensive trap, which basically makes you faster for 15 seconds as you and your team faster for 15 seconds when somebody comes into your base. And then each trap inflicts blindness and slowness for 5 seconds, which is also another good one. But I think minor fatigue is definitely the best one. Now let's go get some diamond upgrades because it's just me and one other person, and they have a bed. So I should probably go try and destroy their bed. Oh, he threw an ender pearl. Did you hear that noise? That means he threw an ender pearl. Now, if I don't think, yeah, I won't be able to win. But that's okay. Now, in the lobby, as you can see, this is where you join your games, as I showed you before, but you can also see your level. Now, over here, as you can see, my level is your level 69 star, and your player level is commonly referred to as your star and not your level. Now, I am star 69, and that just means I've been playing the game for a while, and I'm pretty experienced. Now, normally when you level up in a video game, it takes more and more time played in order to level up. It gets harder and harder to level up. But in Bed Wars, it stays the same. So someone's star is a great marker for how much they have been playing. So if I'm a 69 star, that means I've just been playing for a while and I know what I'm doing. Now, if somebody is like a 35 star, then that means they've been played about half as much as I have, and they're probably about half as experienced as I am. And then if somebody has a 100 like 38 star, that means they are twice as experienced as me and probably better than I am. Now, okay. I don't really know what else to talk about. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for Bed Wars. It's a little bit complex if you couldn't tell. And yeah, thanks for watching.